Welcome to Club AI, everyone. We're really excited to have Marco today. Marco AI and Design. He is a longtime AI creative and thought leader in the AI space, and we're happy to sit down and chat with him today.
And I am the other host, Space Logic, my channel, and Saint. I go by Saint. And welcome, Marco. Nice to have you. I've had a few interactions with you on AI music video show. And just seeing your stuff on X. So today, at least we get a chance to hear how you got into the whole gig. So the platform's yours.
Okay, yeah, we could start talking about that. So I've been doing AI stuff for, I would say a really long time, but it's relative in this space because it's also new, right? But the first exposure I got to AI was Dolly. So you remember OpenAI Dolly? There was like this wait list, and you had to sign up, and then whoa, I got on eventually. I think this was like spring 2023. I think that's when that took off. It's crazy, really, if you think of it, how recent that really is. So I started playing with Dolly 2, and fairly quickly I discovered that there was this other thing called Mid Journey, and it was just like way better. Even back then, it was way better. I think we were talking Mid Journey 3 at the time, which
Wow.
was for its time very impressive.
All right. Oh no.
It was good, right? It still actually has kind of an aesthetic that still can sometimes be interesting, even today. So it was
I
quite,
agree with you. I definitely do.
especially for example, if you wanted to do stuff like cards, like Magic the Gathering style, it could do that kind of stuff really good. So yeah, and then a couple months later, OpenAI came out with ChatGPT 4. And yeah, that's when it all really took off. And then let me see, in June, like May, June, there was Runway ML was starting out. It started out as in a beta. I started playing with it in July 2023, and then something kind of cool happened because I was at the time I was I didn't have a lot of money, so I was kind of broke. And at some point, I said something like, I'm kind of broke. I wish I could sign up for Runway ML Unlimited because it's expensive, right? And then a kind soul offered me a month of unlimited. It was like, you should try this out. Here you have it. And I was like, wow, that's really cool, right? And I used that month to crank out as much as I possibly could. I think I made like 10 shorts or so in that month. And then lo and behold, Runway ML launched a creative partner program, and I had all this content, so I signed up for that, and I got in the first ever batch of creative partners.
OG.
And so I'm an OG creative
OG.
partner. And so basically I've always had Runway ML for free, which is super, super nice. And it has really allowed me to do things that I could never have done otherwise because it's very expensive. But I'm very grateful that I've been part of that. And yeah, from there, like it just kind of kept rolling because at this point I'm in like a half dozen or more different programs with different vendors. I'm in the Luma program. I'm with Leonardo, which is very good. Free Pick, which is an up and comer, really good.
My new favorite. Yep, one of my new
Yeah,
favorites.
especially with Mystic from Javi. It's
Mhm.
awesome, right?
Hmm.
And so yeah, I have a lot of tools at my disposal for which, again, I'm super grateful that everybody has that type of faith in me, and I'm trying to give back by showing off what they can do. I I don't like. There's a lot of people, I think, on X that are sponsored or they get paid to do stuff and all this sort of crap, right? I have a whole disclaimer about that in my long bio. Like, nobody's paying me for anything except for being in these programs. So basically, whenever you see me be enthusiastic about something, It typically is because I actually think it's good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not because somebody's paying me. Like, for example, you may have seen like Remix, for example, that they pay like tons of people. You see all these posts about it, and it's not very authentic. So
No, I agree with you there because I feel the same way for Neuroframes because I just like that animation style it creates. And
it's very cool. Yeah.
Runway is my second go-to because I like using the renders and use their lip sync and blend that in, which is their lip sync is phenomenal because it even catches the face from angles, which
Yeah.
many others cannot do. It is literally phenomenal.
You know, one of my favorite features there is that it can lip sync not only from an image but also from a video, backgrounds and all that.
You're right.
It's
Right.
way nicer. Yeah.
Yeah, the realism, it's just comparative to anything else. It's really well done. I kind of wonder how they achieved it because it's just too good.
It is very impressive. The funny that you talk about lip sync. Just today, there was there's a new player, Loopy. It's called.
I
Have
saw
you
your
seen?
post on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not out yet. It's like a research paper. It's out on Hugging Face. And dude, if you see that, it's absolutely insane. If you think the runway one's good, this is like it's better than Hedra. Also, it's just like it it brings in all the emotion in facial expressions and head movements and like squeezing eyes. Everything's there, and it's like it knows when to do that because there's some demos of people singing, for example, and you literally see them like all these like it's mind blowing. You have to check it out.
So I know you're also part of the Pika Labs collaborator program.
I am, but I will have to admit I haven't used Pika very much lately.
And
I will say I'm still rooting for them, hoping I'm hoping for them to come out with something awesome so anytime now. You know, like
that was the exact expression I really wanted to get because I did like when they came out officially, they had their web UI and people were using it, which has been quite a while now. Comparatively, where the motion AI has moved to with Luma and Kling and Runway's new Gen 3 models.
You have to be cooking something, I bet.
I remember that they had Andreessen Horowitz money and like 300 million or something seed capital. So I'm like, I can't imagine that they're not doing any. They must be cooking something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've been pretty quiet because for what they have, I mean, it did pretty well. I mean, but everything evolves in the AI world. It is definitely evolving.
Yeah, and it's funny because Runway was the king back then, and then Sora. It was so funny because the Sora demos came along, right? And I'll never forget this because those were everybody was posting those and it was hype, right? And then Cristobal Valenzuela from the CEO of Runway, he just said on X, "Game on," and I was like, I know he's not fucking kidding, right? Now we have Gen 3, and it's basically, I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but it looks just as good as what everything I've seen from Sora.
I'll be honest, Runway has always maintained that pristine quality look. It just does. It's uncanny. And it's kind of like a trademark. I can right off tell if that was done in Runway or not.
Yeah, nothing can touch it. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I do like Luma also, and it's got some specific features that Runway doesn't have, which is one thing.
The keyframe, right?
Yeah, like one thing I did a couple of videos. It was very cool. I actually wrote some little handy tools for this also. Is where I would take a whole sequence of Runway ML pieces, and then I would take the last and the first frame of two pieces, and then use those two in Luma, and then you literally like stitch them together.
Yeah.
So I've got a few videos where, and then I would do the same sort of thing, like we're flying through some kind of environment. So I have this one video where it's kind of like flying in and out of cyberspace, and then every now and then you pop out and you see some real world sort of drone footage, and then you dive right back in, and that's done by stitching those pieces together using Luma.
Yeah. It reminds me of did you see that viral Game of Thrones Luma piece where it was like a Game of Thrones rave party?
Yeah, that's doing the same thing that I did in that fit. It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, that reminded me of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's probably my favorite part about Luma right now. But you have to imagine it's only a matter of weeks or months until Runway has that very same.
Oh, they're totally gonna do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
totally gonna do that.
So
and
let me
yeah.
ask you this: what are your current kind of like goals towards where you want to see yourself? Let's say by the end of this year.
Excellent question. I've been actually spending a lot of time like thinking about that today, and trying, or else not really thinking about it, but strategizing a little bit. So I my goal is somewhat ambiguous still, but the main thing is that I hope that at some point this whole generative AI thing and everything that is surrounding it is going to be, first of all, becoming my day-to-day job. That's what I do, and that's going to be like something that makes me a comfortable amount of money to take care of my family and live comfortably, so that I'll have fun and provide really good for my family. And but what that looks like, that could have different forms, right? It could mean,
Right.
I mean, it could mean some of the big companies approaching me and saying, "Hey, we want you as director or VP of AI, Gen AI, or what." It could be something like that, or it could also mean that I make deals with people to start some kind of business, or it could also mean that I basically keep doing what I'm doing right now, but there's a whole side business going on that gradually gets bigger and bigger. So I'm kind of keeping all my options open when it comes to that. But the general sort of trend is like, I'm hoping that this Gen AI is going to be a bigger and bigger and bigger thing in my life, that I'll be spending my time on, and not just for fun, but also kind of like to make a living off.
Account. I mean, the stuff you've been actually making is phenomenal too. I mean,
Thank you.
they're very focused and artistic. I mean, you have a real great style, and then your tutorials also, like people. That's the other part in this whole thing, like which a lot of some of the artists, not all of them, they kind of shy away from actually, showing their workflows. But yeah, so I'm kind of building towards that, and it's not that I don't want to show my workflow, it's the time. Time is
The-
just so less in one day.
I agree with you. There's like two parts to this.
Yeah.
First of all, I believe that I could share anything, because the technique is only part of it, right? Like,
Right.
it's an art form, and it's all about what's your idea and how you're implementing it using the tools. But I have seen, and I'm seeing that still today, that there's a certain amount of protectionism going on in the scene. And but I think that's just a level of, that's kind of an insecurity. I think people are like, oh, if they take my technique or my style or whatever. But then I'm like, who cares? Because first of all, what you're doing right now with your nifty trick that you came up with, like for example, the stitching together of the scenes, and I have a tool to make that easy and all that kind of thing, right? I could say I'm going to keep that to myself. I'm not, but I was like, oh, I'm going to post it and have people download it and just use it, like it's a shell tool using FFmpeg, and it does all this stuff kind of automatically for you, so it's very easy to do all this stuff.
You're actually absolutely, I agree with you, because the creativity behind the one who created cannot be replicated, to be honest. You in
You
the
can't
AI
steal
world,
that.
you just cannot do
Yeah.
it.
You can't
Not
steal
there.
it.
Yeah, there's no exact replication in AI. It's just impossible. But yeah, so I can get inspired from your work and create something, give it my own flavor, and that's usually what a lot of people end up doing. But yeah, I hope, but there's still a lot of good artists like Underworld. He's got tutorials after tutorials. Now what he does is very hard. It's very technical. But yeah.
He has a really distinct style that's
Uh-huh.
honestly hard to even want to try and replicate. Incidentally, I'm actually going to meet him this weekend, so I'm very excited about
Are
that.
you're part of the Portland crew, aren't you?
Yeah, we're starting a whole Portland AI crew, so I think this is going
Nice,
to
I'm
be so
nice.
I might have to move out there like that.
Yeah,
I was so jealous when I found that out. I was like, oh, all these guys I'm talking with on Twitter all the time, and I just became friends with Blacklight, for example, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that would be such a
Blacklight, I've
fun.
already had lunch with him one time. It was great. He's really awesome. And I
Yeah, he's a
actually
good
really
guy.
admire his work.
oh,
He has an extremely distinct. He's another one of those people who has this unique style.
And he popped out of nowhere, right? Like he just
I
one
bumped
day,
into him because of Dust in Hollywood.
yeah. Oh, that guy's a
He
character.
made
I
a
love
post and
Dustin.
he was like, "Look at this guy. His style is just out of this world." And then I was immediately like, "Shit, yeah, that's good." You know,
Yeah,
yeah. Blacklight. I actually messaged him. I said, I just wanted to say this directly to you. Love your stuff, because there's very few people whose videos I watch from start to finish,
I know.
and whatever has that effect
yep.
on me, like, it just takes me in right away when I'm watching it. So I want to see it till the end, and I make that clear, like, because for me to see more artwork is like just putting more into my organic AI to come up with ideas. You get inspiration from that. So we actually been I did an interview with Underworld so back at Hacks. It's his first interaction, and I was blown away by the guys. They're two so in chemistry with each other. It's phenomenal, because they've been like friends since fourth grade. That was another thing I did not know. Made sense now. And
And
just very real.
they truly
Yeah.
love what they do, right? They believe in their style.
And
They
those
own that
guys are,
art.
yeah, those guys are. I consider those guys like actual artists.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I'm aspiring to be like a filmmaker, like films and shorts and maybe commercials and stuff like that. But those guys are artists.
You are
Like it's art.
100% correct. Yeah. No, Underworld and Hacks, they both and the funny thing is, they kind of, because Hacks is really good with the setting up, the music, and the script work.
Mhm.
And then, Underworld's the hardcore artist right there. He
Yeah.
puts in the raw image, visuals, and that blend of them together doing it. And they explain that. Now, here was the funny part. So when we posted their artwork on the YouTube video, it got hard shadow banned because of, it was just
Too explicit.
so yeah.
Yeah. He has this. He came out like last week or something, I think.
Yeah.
Put this like the art of self-destruction lore on Civet
Yep.
AI.
I've even seen people on Twitter. I think the person's name is not Beeple, or it's not some sort of famous artist. I forget who it is. Or
Right.
not. No, it's not Blair Silver. That's who it is. But they've been putting out a lot of different Lauras, and some of the cool ones were like a Stanley Kubrick Laura. So he took scenes from like 200 famous Stanley Kubrick movies, and you can just create masterpieces with it. It's a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
that's interesting. If you get enough
Little
still
copyright, but
style, you get that look, right? Like I did one like with 80s gold horror films.
Mhm.
This one for the Curious Refuge um, advertising competition. So this one, and the guys from Curious Refuge also said like, wow, the motion is really real, right? So let me play this one real quick.
For those who savor life's vibrant moments. Crafted with flavors from across the globe, blended to perfection. Culture Pop Soda, a pop of culture in every sip.
I think that's an amazing example. I think what a lot of AI creators are sometimes
We're
lacking
almost there.
is the post editing.
Yeah.
Because having a
That-
good post edited
You're
video
right.
is everything. Because without it, you're just
Yeah,
left
this is all
with
because of
nothing.
my editing, because it would never be as good if I would just use the pieces as is.
And that is a caveat a lot of people don't understand, that what they're actually trying to do is throw everything to the air, just leave it right there and do nothing in the post production, and just use what they got. Yeah. So there's even dynamics to the content creation, the sound, the image. So it's one person doing it. So
Well, that's the funny thing, right? Like the AI haters, as I call them, they assume always that we like push a button,
Yeah.
commercial rolls out, but that's not how it works, right?
it is far from the truth. I mean, there's still hours of work that goes in, and it's dependent on the creator too, how professional he wants to go.
Yeah, like I always push back on that stuff. It was like, if my shorts are me, they're all me, and none of that stuff happened automatically. And in some cases, I would spend hours to get the shot the way I want it to be. And like in Runway, there could be countless of re-rolls or countless of re-renders, where sometimes I would have to edit the input image in Photoshop to get it the way it is, the way I want it to start out, all that kind of stuff. None of that stuff is automatic.
So this is like, I prompted straight as an image prompt, which I made, and I was using an ideogram, and I just wanted to see. So Kling has kind of surprised me in this aspect, and this is, I was making the movie Fifth Element, back, real old one. So this is like Lilu being formulated in the lab, and it was just like crazy how well it just prompted straight from the prompt, no image.
This is
Wait,
Kling.
is that text to
Yeah.
video?
Yes, text to video, Kling.
Just text. Okay.
Yeah, Kling sometimes is really impressive. Is that the free Kling or the paid Kling?
Paid Kling, yeah.
Because
Yeah, the free Kling, I can't get anything to work.
free sucks. It's not a good demo because it didn't make me want to sign up.
Maybe. Marco, are there any new tools that are really exciting you lately that have popped up? You mentioned Free Pick earlier. It's almost hard to keep up because there's so many all the time.
Well, there's another one. I'll share this real quick too. I have to look it up real quick so you can cut out a little piece until I find it. There is a new one called Minimax.
Yes, that's another Asian one, I believe. Chinese.
It's Chinese as well, and it's really good. So let me demo that. It's kind of like.
And how do you sign up for this one? I swear I tried to sign up and I
It's free.
couldn't figure it
You
out.
just go to the site and it's free.
Oh, is it the one that only has text to image and no image
It's only
to video?
text to video for
That's right.
now.
That's right.
But it's very good. Let me share this real quick. So this is on my. I don't have this one on my YouTube, only on my X.
Marco, might be a good time to maybe mention you. Did you start a Patreon or something? Did you want to speak about that in this at all? You don't have to.
I did. I
Might be a
started.
good little way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for bringing that up. I'd almost forgotten. So yeah, I started Patreon for. I have several reasons for this. The first reason is also why I'm paying close attention to YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram nowadays. Is that I know that a lot of people are Elon Musk, he's God, and this and this, but I'm not at all convinced of the future of the X platform. I mean, I love it, and I'm there because it's the best AI community platform, and the
Yeah.
features are. I mean, I love it, so don't get me wrong, but I don't think the future of the platform looks sure to me. So the worst thing that could happen to anybody who's kind of trying to build his brand and reputation is if X disappears, I want to still be out there.
Right.
I want to be able to interface with people that may want to work with me or just like my stuff and anything like that. So I've started in the past like 3 months. I started diversifying, and another thing on X is that they have subscriptions, but I've literally been waiting for a year now for that to get turned on. And this is doing that same thing, right? Because now
Right.
people can subscribe to me in various tiers. Or I can tell you guys a funny and interesting anecdote about my absolute first exposure to AI. It was very cool. I'm kind of proud of it, honestly. This was like I think it was like in 2017. At the time, I was working for Google, and they were doing this rotation thing. Like you could, I was a UX engineer, like prototyping and stuff, right? And they were doing this rotation that you could be on another team for like 3 to 6 months. And
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, I'll do that. That sounds fun, right? Like doing something completely different for a while. So I ended up on a team called Magenta, and it was what I think is the first AI music generator.
Wow.
Mm.
And what it was very, very simple. What it did the following thing. Like imagine this. So you are composing a song, and you have like a melody line like dun, 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 for example, right? And you could feed those notes into the model, and then it will give you continuations of what you just put in. So it was like a creative musical helper sort of thing.
Mm.
Wow.
They had these demos where like a Mozart fight, like you would have a piece of classical music and it would respond with a generated piece and then this back and forth sort of thing. And I was like, this is wild, It was
In
if you compare it to what
in
Juno was,
2017, it would have blown my mind.
it was
Oh
so
my
cool,
god.
yes. It was amazing, and it was like people were working on like stuff like TensorFlow and all that stuff was starting to emerge at that moment. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, this whole area, like I'm still surprised because I was completely oblivious to the fact that the transformers were being worked on and all that. And I mean, now it all makes sense where the algorithm and everything that Google's been doing, how your searches work. This was all going towards this point.
yeah,
And
this is where it was all going. I was like, if
yeah.
you look, and one of the coolest thing is that in a way, um, Suno and Udio, they have it too. They have implemented the same thing that Google did, but the way I was always imagining it.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen these, but I can look them up real quick because it's very cool. I I got early access to this model at the time, right? And I did several experiments where I would play a guitar riff and then
Mm-hmm.
say, take this, and it would turn it into a song.
Wow.
And there's also one that I have to show you guys this because you'll get a kick out of this. I did this piano riff, and then I was like, I want that to be the groove of a rap song. Kind of like how it happens in the track "Still Dre" from
Right.
Dre and Snoop
Right.
Dogg.
Okay.
It was that same sort of thing, and it just like nailed it. Let me.
I see your face in my dreams every night. Whispers of my love, my heart's still tight. But I wake up, it's just a lie. Cause you're gone and I'm left to die. I remember the day like it was yesterday. Came home from work and everything went astray. Heard your screams, my world went gray. Crying upstairs, but it was too late to say. His hands around your throat, his eyes on mine. I should've stopped him then, but I was in a bind, paralyzed by fear as you slipped away. Now I'm left with this anger eating at me every day, every day.
In the dark of night, I hear you cries. My love, my heart, my soul, why'd you have to die? I see the pain in your eyes, it never fades. But don't you worry, baby, you'll pay for this shame.
I searched
in fields of green, where wildflowers sway, young soldiers march to their final day with drums that beat and flags that wave. They're sent to die in a stranger's grave. Oh, the bones of ashes, will they ever sleep? The seeds of hate that we've sown so deep in the earth below, where innocence weep. Will their whispers haunt us in our eternal sleep?
Now there's the male rep or female
Right.
will actually do that for you. You know, like crazy.
No, this is literally a leap. You
Yeah.
know, yeah,
I
Suno
was really
really
excited at that time because this was like unreleased, and they gave me this access. Like, oh, you could post demos with this before it comes out, and was like, shit, this is level.
yeah, I've been blown away by Udio and Suno. My God. And they've been tag teaming pretty well because they've been fighting lawsuits almost like a tag team.
Yeah, it's interesting. I can't wait to see where those lawsuits go. I don't think they're going anywhere, but we'll see. You know.
Yeah, because those boys also have their lawyers.
Oh yeah, I was like, you know what? Before I am convinced that before they even started building this,
They had thought all that through.
down with lawyers like, can we do this?
Exactly. Yeah. Because if they're throwing that much amount of money in building this, they're
You're
not
gonna-
gonna just do that without knowing all that. Come on.
No, you're gonna square that off before you even fire up the GPUs. Because
Yeah, the
otherwise,
genie out of the bottle they were unleashing, they knew exactly what it was gonna do.
yeah. I don't believe any of these lawsuits are going to go anywhere. But, but that's one of those things that'll probably help them in court, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
I don't
working-
think they're going anywhere. I mean, it's the amount of people who are accessing these tools. It is phenomenal because human nature to be creative. Because right now, the amount of creativity that's been thrown into the environment has substantially exploded. Like a normal person, they're accessing capabilities that they weren't, they never even knew they were capable of.
right.
And I usually call that the organic artist, the ones who never invested the time, but they kind of have a feel for the art.
Yeah.
The AI tool literally explodes it exponentially.
Oh, totally. And the thing is, the establishment, for lack of a better word, they don't like it because suddenly everybody can do it, right? And this is this is kind of similar, honestly, to the advent of YouTube, for example, right? Like, because suddenly
You are
everybody is a
perfectly,
people
yes.
producer,
This is
everyone.
you are spot on with that YouTube example
They
there,
didn't like
because
that either, I don't think.
oh no, YouTube was like literally seen as a big threat.
Yeah, and it is, because
For good
now
reason, yeah.
anyone can start, and they're doing it, right? People
Yeah,
have millions of subscribers to certain shows, and you know, like they get ratings and viewer numbers that a lot of TV shows can only dream of.
the problem is, as a whole, they don't realize the ones in the business of this. People like variety. They will always like variety. They want to have the freedom to choose what they want to watch, not being fed what they want to watch. And that is the reason YouTube has gained that much strength, because of the freedom of choice. Like, I will choose who I want to watch and who I don't want to watch.
Yeah, and now that it's on all the smart TVs, and also with
Yeah.
XTV has just launched this week, we've come full circle, right? Because it's back on the TV. And that, like, I have to tell you guys something crazy that I saw. I posted a few little demos of this on X as I was at the concert. So last week on Friday,
Oh yeah.
I was at Jeff Lynne's ELO. And I kid you not, the show involved AI video.
Yeah.
And it looked like I tagged Nikolai, actually, because I was like, it looks like it might be neural frames.
We were discussing that internally actually in our group chats with neural frames. And yeah,
And
it's a
I was
debate.
like, whether it's neural frames or deform, I
Or
was like,
Kyber. We're thinking it might be Kyber too.
but I was like, this is a huge deal,
Yeah.
because this is like a mega act, right? Like ELO is like, they're going on in the biggest venues. It's like a top act, right? And they're using AI. I was like, this is like a next level awesome, right?
Yeah.
That is, yeah, that's going to be that basically. I think when you have like bigger platforms, um, getting into and kind of showing, I think the people are still unaware of how exactly these tools work. And that is literally the lack of knowing what goes behind is the main problem. Some
Yeah.
people just hear the word A and a I, and they run the other direction.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I was so excited when I saw that. I was like, this is a mainstream arena act, and they're doing AI stuff.
The bigger, I think, more to history. Evolution in technology is going to keep happening as long as human ingenuity and innovation is happening. I mean, who's going to stop them from not doing that? But we keep creating, because that's how our minds work.
So that's the difference. I think that's the key difference between the doomers and the optimists, because you can say, "Oh, AI is going to kill us all, and it's going to take everyone's job, and it's going to," but I'm like, no, 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 no. It's going to open all these new doors that were closed for people. Like now, and this is something that Runway ML, that they're doing a lot of that stuff, right? They're giving like small cineasts like grants and other support. So what's going to happen is that you're going to have some little guy in Nigeria with a great idea who's now going to put out a film.
Right.
And this is a guy that could, until 2 years ago, could only dream of this, and it was never going to happen for him.
That is a
And
beautiful
next
point.
year he's going to be at a film festival with his film.
Yeah. It's really like the connectivity and the how the world connects now. That's the dynamics have shifted. Phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, for me, I look towards the stars now. I mean, without the AI, we're never going to get there. The AI is going to help in the computational power we need to create engines that are going to thrust us that far.
It's funny. I think we're on the same page there. I've been I would go so far, and I tell people this sometimes. I back all the way, like back in 2016, 17, 18. I was really gloomy when it comes to the future. I was like, everything is going hell, and humans are fucking everything up, and it's just going to be, you know, how we're going to save us from ourselves and our shitty leaders and all that sort of thing, right? And now I'm like, I mean, I'm still concerned, but I'm like, dude, this technology might be our ticket out of this mess. You know, we might figure out how to clean up the environment. We might figure out how to solve all these big problems like cure disease or create new plant types that grow in barren place. I mean, AI is going to do this for us.
And
No,
actually, do you have any insight on the next AI Live conference? I know you were a founding member. I don't know if you're still involved with.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, I mean, Steve is in the planning phase, so it'll probably pick up in a few months again. But there's definitely going to be another Vegas event that I can tell you. I can't devolve too many. I don't actually know that much more, but I know
Yep.
there's going to be another Vegas event, and you guys better come.
Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there.
yeah, I'm definitely
then,
gonna make it for this one.
And then, yeah, also just trying to do like local things, right? Like what I was saying with the Portland crew. I want to try and see if we can set something up there and maybe have small local events and just kind
That
of
is actually what I've
grow.
been trying to do here in Florida myself now.
Yeah.
Being a university town,
Yeah.
I'm trying to kind of build the AI community here, which I
Yeah.
was like, why haven't I done that yet?
Yeah, so we're meeting with a bunch of people on Saturday, and yeah, that'll be one of the things I want to discuss. Like, let's start something, you know, some maybe like a monthly meetup, and then maybe at some point we can get a venue and do some demos and get people in and make it grow that way. You know, that's kind of, and I would say everybody who's enthusiastic and has the opportunity to do stuff like that, go do it in your local
Yeah.
community. It's
Yep.
fun, right?
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
This conversation definitely
Yeah,
really
this is
enjoyed
really
it.
great, guys. Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun, and yeah, I can't wait to see the final